We'll proceed in pseudo calculus problems. Okay, pseudo calculus problems, the area in which we are pursuing the discussion and how discussion of what kind of situation that has happened while calculating the perimeter of a circle. How we can calculate perimeter of a circle, that is the discussion that we are pursuing. How to calculate perimeter of the circle. Now we have come that to a point where if I mean in Cartesian coordinate system, I have drawn a circle. I have drawn a circle in Cartesian coordinate system. What is the circle in Cartesian coordinate system? First, this is Cartesian coordinate system, and this is x-axis. If this is x-axis, then this is y-axis. This is y-axis and this is x-axis. Idea is to find the idea is to find the length of this perimeter. Okay, we will use repeated addition to find the length of this parameter. What is repeated addition to find the length of the parameter? Anyone would say it is not very difficult to find the parameter of a circle. You know angle, right? That is 2 pi. Multiply by radius, because for any arc, if there is an arc like this in a circle, if there is one radius and there is another radius, if there are two radius, then in between the arc is radius multiplied by in between angle. R into theta is the arc. R into 2 pi, that is the angle, then it is R2 into pi. 2 pi R is the kind of circumference of this circle. Okay, now I say draw a circle where r equal to cos theta. Okay, radius is constant, and that's how we are finding the circumference of a circle. Now consider the radius is not constant. As we move right now here, as we move angle, if I am moving the angle, this is x-axis. From x-axis, I am moving the radius. Right now it is making theta degree with the x-axis. The way I am moving, radius is not changing. Radius is always r. Radius is fixed. In that fashion, the circumference of this circle is r 2 pi. What about r will change as we change the angle? Many times we have talked about it. What about r would change? Okay, what about r would change the way we change the angle? So r cos theta means, consider this is origin. R cos theta when angle is 0. This is radius and kept at x-axis. When angle is 0, radius is 1. R equal to cos theta. The way angle is growing, radius starts shrinking. And radius starts shrinking when angle is 90 degree. Radius is completely 0. It started like this and radius become like this. When angle grows 90 degree, radius become negative. So we will take other side of radius 180 degree, so the radius will be positive. So radius will come like this big or small. Then as we grow in the angle up to 180 degree, radius will start growing and radius will become minus r, that is this side minus r. So this is r. It makes a circle which is centered at 1 by 2 comma 0. A new circle is formed where it is centered at 1 by 2 comma 0 and it has radius as 1 by 2. How you found it? If there is a radius r and angle theta, it will make interception on x-axis as x, interception on y-axis as y. X square, so x equal to any moment r cos theta and y equal to r sin theta. X square plus y square equal to x is r cos theta, where r is cos theta, x equal to cos square theta, y equal to cos theta sin theta, x square plus y square equal to cos to the power 4 theta plus cos square theta sin square theta. It will become cos square theta only, that is x. X square plus y square equal to x. X square minus x plus y square equal to 0. X minus 1 by 2 whole square plus y square equal to 1 by 2 whole square. This will, at the end, it will form a circle which is centered at 1 by 2 comma 0. Circle that is centered at 1 by 2 comma 0 and it has a radius as 1 by 2. Now find the parameter of this r equal to cos theta. Now it is difficult if someone is boasting about r theta is the parameter. Now r is changing. Now in that fashion we talk that if that is the case, then we will take a form like, consider there is a point called x comma y on the perimeter, and this is right now it has a center. From center it is, center can be here also, center can be here also, center 0 comma 0. Okay, if I have a point x comma y and this is the center, then there is a position vector called xi plus yj. Okay, if this is the center, then this is the position vector called xi plus yj, provided this point is x comma y. If that is the case, if this point is x comma y, then I move little bit angle delta theta. This is x comma y. This radius is touching this arc at point x comma y, and it is moving angle delta theta in a direction where another point is, or rather the way I am saying, consider the first point is x1 comma y1. Now it has moved delta theta in other direction. Now this point is x2 y2. This is x1 y1 and this is x2 y2. If that is the case, then it moved angle delta theta from x1 y1 to x2 y2. If that is the case, if this is x-axis, this is y-axis, then consider that it moved delta x along x-axis from x1 y1 to x2 y2. What I'm trying to say is x2 minus x1 is delta x, and y1 minus y2. x2 minus x1 is delta x, and y1 minus y2 is delta y. Means it shifted delta y in this direction and shifted delta x in this direction to make x1 y1 to x2 y2. If that is the case, then this is a one line, this is another line that is perpendicular to that line, and then there is a third line that is arc, and it is making a kind of a wedge where one side is perpendicular, one side is straight line, another side is a straight line, and third side is an arc. If delta theta, what it is moving from here to here, is very small, I can take this arc as a straight line. If that is the case, then this arc is a straight line and it becomes hypotenuse on delta y and delta x. Means this arc length for the delta theta becomes delta x whole square plus delta y whole square root. Means if I take any small arc which forms angle delta theta with origin, then that arc has length as delta x square plus delta y square root. Okay. Now, if that is the case, consider this is the ith section. What is ith section? This is x-axis. If this is x-axis, from x-axis, I am moving the radius delta theta, and then this is arc number 1. Then I move another angle delta theta. This is arc number 2. Then I move another angle delta theta, or this is x-axis. From x-axis I am moving this radius to a point, and it makes this from angle equal to 0. Now this radius is making angle equal to 0 with the x-axis. In that fashion, if I move like this, then it moves delta theta. Consider this delta theta is delta theta 1. This is delta theta 2, delta theta 3, delta theta 4. This is the amount it has, it is moving. I believe it is all right. So if this is the from center, this is the radius, and this angle is 0. Now it moved delta theta. Consider, say this movement is delta theta 1. Now from here, it moved again. So from here to here, there is one angle called delta theta 2. From here, it moved delta theta 3. From here, it moved delta theta 4. From here, it moved delta theta 5. Like that, it kept moving and making different sections. Consider it makes n sections, where delta theta 1 plus delta theta 2 plus delta theta 3 plus delta theta 4 plus delta theta n equal to 2 pi. So we have now arc corresponding to delta theta. This arc, I cannot say r delta theta 1, because this arc can be a function of theta itself. If it is constant, then each arc is, if let's say I am moving like this, and I came to ith section. This is the first section. From here, if I move the radius, this is the first section, second section, third section. Like we have n section from 0 to 2 pi, which make the full circumference. Let's talk about the ith section. Then angle moved in ith section is delta theta I. Then this arc for the ith section is r delta theta I. That is wrong. That is true only when radius is constant and independent of the theta. If radius is function of theta, then it is not true. What it is true is that it from if it moves this location to this location and it forms a ith section, then movement of the angle is delta theta I. Then movement of delta x and delta y is delta xi and delta yi. In that form, this for the ith section, the small arc length that is hypotenuse to delta x and delta y and delta x it is. So from here, this is the point, a beginning point, and this point it moved delta theta I, making ith section. In that fashion, it moved delta x in this direction, delta y in this direction. Delta y square plus delta x square equal to the arc, because arc is a angle is very small, arc will behave like a straight line, hypotenuse line. So arc length for the ith section is delta xi whole square plus delta yi whole square, so square root. Okay, so what is the length of the ith section? The length of the ith section is square root delta xi whole square plus delta yi whole square. In that sense, what is the full parameter? It is summation for the n section. This is the ith section. Now summation sign I equal to 1 to n square root delta xi whole square plus delta yi delta x bottom right small I ith section delta x whole square plus delta yi whole square root. Now keep adding it, delta x1 whole square plus delta y1 whole square root plus. This is for the first section arc. Second section arc length is square root delta x2 whole square plus delta y2 whole square plus delta nth section. So it will start rotating. First section, second section, third section, fourth section, nth section. Nth section will be little bit down the origin, down the x-axis, and it will come back to the x-axis. This is nth section. So if this is nth section, then it will be square root of delta xn whole square plus delta yn whole square. This is the net parameter of a circle. That is summation of all the sections, n sections. Okay, now the delta x are non-overlapping for each section if a person is watching very closely. If I say delta x1, then this is moving from angle 0 to delta theta 1. If it moves like this, then it forms delta x1 here, like it moves here, delta x2. All delta x are non-overlapping. If that is the case, I'm trying to say if this is a circle which has this is minus a, it has a radius, consider it is centered at the origin. In that sense, we have this is minus a and this is plus a. This is minus a plus a and this is the radius. If that is the case, then delta x, if I add all delta x, it will become 2a. If I add all delta y, which starts from here and come back here, it will again make 2a. Okay, now that is the scenario. Now people would say that boss, when you are rotating, then it is moving up to here and it is making same unique delta. But if it goes from here, then there is an overlapping of delta. Means from here it moves till from here it moves, then it is full delta, full a to minus a on x-axis. If we repeat, then leave it for the top section one. Then delta y goes from a to 0 and x goes from a to minus a. It is for pi. Then we will double it for the perimeter. Anyway, then we saw that what we got here. Okay, now as per the summation can be triggered to integral calculus provided all delta x they are non-overlapping. In that sense, summation I equal to 0 to I equal to n, square root of delta xi whole square plus delta y whole square will be transformed into integration sign, and then square root of dx whole square plus dy whole square, dx whole square and dy whole square. If someone is watching, this is exactly magnitude of a vector, that is dxi plus dyj. If I write a vector dxi plus dyj, and then what is the magnitude of this vector? Square root dx whole square plus dy whole square. This is the magnitude of a vector. Now I can write integration of a magnitude of a vector, that is q. This is what we named in the past video, q. Q is del dxi plus dyj. Dxi plus dyj can be rewritten as d, small d, and in braces xi plus yj, making derivative of xi plus yj is dxi plus dyj. Another vector comes as xi plus yj. Xi plus yj. Now, if I take any point here x comma y, then from origin this vector is xi plus yj. Dxi plus dyj talks about the perimeter vector, that is tangent at this point. This is dxi plus dyj, whereas this point is x comma y, whereas xi plus yj is from the center. This is the position vector, and they are at 90 degrees to each other. Person can prove it. There's nothing like that. But it is certain that if dx whole square plus dy whole square root, or d or delta xi whole square plus delta yi whole square root is the length of the small arc of the ith section, means it is talking about the direction of the arc. Then only means the vector, that is delta xi, delta x ith section I vector plus delta y ith section j vector. This is the vector that is the q vector we have taken in the name of a square root delta xi whole square plus delta y whole square. If I have an expression a square root of delta xi whole square plus delta y whole square, it is magnitude of a vector, that is delta xi I vector plus delta y I j vector. Okay, if this is the magnitude, what is the direction of this vector, that is delta xi I vector plus delta y I j vector? That is the direction of the arc, because it is talking about the small arc length that is formed by delta theta I. Means this is tangent at that point. Anyway, what is the kind of a length of the arc? Summation of I equal to 0, I equal to 1 to n. Summation sign I equal to 1 to n. That, and then square root delta xi whole square plus delta y I whole square, or magnitude of a vector q, and that is delta xi I vector plus delta yi j vector, or q magnitude of that is the I'm sorry. So I'll repeat it again. What is the full arc length? Full arc length 360 degree is combination of all I section. One I section arc length is delta xi whole square plus delta yi whole square root. Then full will be summation I equal to 1 to n square root delta xi whole square plus delta yi whole square. This square root is same as magnitude of a vector. Magnitude, so summation I equal to 1 to n magnitude of a vector, and that vector is delta xi I vector plus delta yi j vector. I call it q vector. So now I can write in a integral form, because all delta x, if I see, they are non-overlapping when angle is 0 to pi. So let's calculate for angle 0 to pi 1. Now it will become integral calculus, and then magnitude integral calculus square root of dx whole square plus dy whole square, or integral calculus magnitude of q vector, where q vector is dxi plus dyj. Okay, if I say dxi plus dyj, it is same as d, small d, and bracket of xi plus yj, that is p vector, position vector. Position vector is xi plus yj, and then q vector is dxi plus dyj. Relationship between them is q vector equal to d of position vector. Now we understood that the full circumference is nothing but, or half circumference, nothing but integration sign, and then magnitude of d of p. Okay, thank you very much. D of P, magnitude of D of P, position vector will give the arc length at least 50%. Thank you very much. Okay, if we proceed in this fashion, then magnitude of D of position vector, that is xi plus yj, D of xi plus yj. What is D of xi, D of P, D of position vector? Small d of p, capital P on top of it, arrow mark, d of position, d of p can be written as d of p by dx into dx. 5 can be written as 5 into 5 by 2 into 2. Same way. So d of p can be written as d of p by dx into dx. Now d of p by dx has meaning. How much this if consider this is the position vector which collects origin and point x comma y, and this is x axis. If I move this, this is x axis, and this point is x comma y. It makes interception on x axis as x comma y, x. Now if I move this position vector little bit, okay, then how much change in x I say? Consider that is delta x. Means dp by dx is, if I per unit change along x axis brings how many unit change along p? P by x. Per unit of x is how many unit of p? That is division. Dp by dx means per unit change along x axis brings how many unit change in position vector p? Dp by dx. Now d of p, magnitude integration, is the net circumference, half. We are right now we are calculating top half only. If this is x axis, then top half only. Okay, if that is the case, then how much it will be? dp by dx. What is p? P is xi plus yj. dp by dx will become d of xi plus yj by dx into dx. It will become I plus dy by dxj, bracket closed into dx. Makes sense? What is dy by dx? What is y for a circle? Now, right now, let's calculate only in Cartesian coordinate system. For a circle, y equal to square root of a square minus x square. What we have got? Magnitude of dp by dx into dx. Dx I can take outside of the magnitude. Magnitude of dp by dx will into dx. This will give the net circumference. What is dp by dx? Now what is y? Y equal dp by dx. X is xi plus yj. dp by dx will become dx by dxi plus dy by dxj. It will become I plus dy by dxj. Calculate magnitude of it into dx. It will give the circumference. I plus dy by dx, y equal to square root of a square minus x square. Dy by dx equal to minus x by square root of a square minus x square. In that way, it will become I plus minus x by square root of a square minus x square j. This is the vector magnitude dx. If someone calculate the magnitude, it becomes 1 square plus x square by a square minus x square, a square root dx. It will become a by square root of a square minus x square dx. A I can keep outside, that is the radius of the circle. 1 by square root of a square minus x square. Okay, 1 by square root of a square. That will come as sine inverse x by a. Okay, sine a. What is x? X is minus a to a. Means if I put a first, it becomes sine inverse 1 minus sine inverse minus 1. Pi by 2 plus pi by 2. Pi. And outside a. A pi is the circumference of a circle for the top quadrant, tops of the circle x-axis. 2 pi a. Let's proceed. This is what we talked above the Cartesian. But anyway, what I have found, what is the diamond or what is the gold that I have found? The gold or diamond that I have found is integration, and then magnitude of d of p will give me the circumference. That's much I have found. Okay, d of p is same as dp by dx into dp by dx into dx. dp, this is one thing. D of p is same as dp by d theta into d theta. 5 equal to 5 by 2 into 2. True. 5 equal to 5 by 3 into 3. That is also true. 5 equal to 5 by 4 into 4. That is also true. So d of p, small d, capital P on top of it, arrow mark. This is a vector. D of p is same as d of p by dx into dx. If that is true, then d of p is same as dp by d theta into d theta. Who is stopping anyone? Okay, if that is the case, then what is magnitude of d of p by d theta up outside d theta? D theta I can take outside. If that is the case, then what is dp by d theta? What is p? P is xi plus yj. What is x? X is r cos theta and y is r sin theta. Then it becomes dp by d theta. D of r cos theta I plus r sin theta j by d theta. Consider r is constant. R I can take outside. Now it becomes d of cos theta I plus sin theta j by d theta. It becomes minus sin theta I plus cos theta j. Magnitude of this, that is 1. Minus sin theta I plus cos theta j, magnitude is 1. If that is the case, then it becomes r only. R d theta. R d theta. What is theta? Theta is full to 360 degree, 2 pi. Now it becomes r a into 2 pi. 2 pi a is the circumference. Okay, if I take a kind of normal fashion, then x equal to r cos theta. X equal to r cos theta. In that fashion, dx equal to r minus sin theta d theta. Okay, I believe it is all right. Or x equal to r cos theta. Theta equal to x by r or x by a cos inverse. Theta equal to cos inverse x by a. Okay, now the limit what we are taking, if I take limit minus a to a, this is what x we were taking, minus a to a, how much the theta will? Theta equal to cos inverse x by a. Cos inverse minus 1 and cos inverse 1. Cos inverse 1 is 0 and cos inverse minus 1 is minus pi. Is minus 1 is pi. So the integration will be 0 to pi, but it will be only for the top side. I believe it is all right, understandable. What we got? The net circumference is integration magnitude d of p. That is same as d of p by d theta into d theta. D theta I can take outside. Magnitude of dp by d theta. Integration. Okay, dp by d theta. Okay, where theta moves 360 degree. Okay, that is one concept. Another concept is theta I have taken from the x. Actually, it was in x Cartesian coordinate system. Leave it. If I say theta is moving 360 degree, let's proceed upon. Now, what is position vector? Position vector is xi plus yj. Xi plus yj dp by d theta, where x is r cos theta and y is r sin theta. dp by d theta. Magnitude r I can take outside, or a is the circle radius, a I can take outside. If radius does not vary with the theta, then it becomes d by d theta of cos theta I plus sin theta j. It becomes minus sin theta I plus cos theta j. Magnitude will be 1. Now integration of d theta, it will integrated over 2 pi. 2 pi a is the circumference. Or if I say that theta is x, theta, if I say in term of x, then x equal to r cos theta. The previous calculation, we had taken x minus a to a, making top half of the circle. Remember, we calculated top parameter where x moves a to minus a or minus a to a, y moves 0 to a. Then I multiply by 2. If I take in that fashion, then anyway, in this integration came as theta. A I took outside. integration of, it came as a d theta. A I take outside, integration of d theta, that is theta. Theta I have to settle down in a way that x equal to a cos theta. Theta equal to cos inverse x by a. That is a is minus 1 to 1. That is cos inverse 1 minus cos inverse 1 minus cos inverse minus 1. That will give pi. Means the integration of theta d theta will be 0 to pi. Okay, in that fashion, theta, integration of d theta is theta, that is pi. Pi a is the circumference for the top part, 2 pi a. Okay, let's proceed. Who stops us in proceeding? Okay, if that is the case, the idea was if the radius is function of theta. If radius is function of theta, then r equal to cos theta. This is what we have taken. Okay, now I cannot take r outside. Now we have dp by d theta, magnitude into d theta. What is dp? P is xi plus yj. What is xi plus yj? R cos theta I plus r sin theta j by d theta. Let's tackle the first one. First one will become d of r cos theta I by d theta, where r is function, radius is function of theta, f theta. So I cannot take out r. So it will become d of d by d theta of r cos theta I vector plus d of d theta of r sin theta j vector. The first part will become it will become multiplication of the differentiation. So multiplication of two item, if I differentiate, first I have to keep one constant and differentiate other, plus take another one constant and differentiate the first one. It will become r d cos theta by d theta, r minus sin theta, plus cos theta dr by d theta. Makes sense? I vector r minus sin theta, r d cos theta by d theta. D of r cos theta is how much, where r is function of theta. Then it becomes r d cos theta by d theta, r minus sin theta, plus cos theta dr by d theta whole I vector, plus, now let's settle down the j vector, dr sin theta by d theta. That will be r cos theta plus sin theta dr by d theta j, full j. Now magnitude of this someone has to calculate. What will be the magnitude of this? That is r minus sin theta, plus cos theta dr by d theta whole square, that is the ith component, plus that side is r cos theta plus sin theta dr by d theta whole square root. This is the magnitude that will come, d theta. Someone can calculate now, keeping r as anything. If someone keep r as cos theta, then first one will become minus cos theta sin theta, minus r is cos theta, r minus sin theta, plus cos theta dr by d theta. In that sense, first one will become minus r is cos theta minus sin theta, plus cos theta dr by d theta, that is minus sin theta. Again it will become minus 2 cos theta sin theta whole square. I believe it is all right. Plus that side, that is r minus r cos theta, r is cos theta, again cos square theta, plus sin theta dr by d theta, that is minus sin theta, d cos theta by minus sin theta, cos square theta minus sin square theta whole square. This side 2 cos theta sin theta whole square. That side cos square theta minus sin square theta whole square. Square root d theta. Then integration. Someone can try. What it will become? It will become whole cos square theta sin square theta plus cos to the power 4 theta plus sin to the power 4 theta plus minus 2 cos square theta sin square theta. Okay, I believe someone can try now. Calculating it, we will try it. And this will be the perimeter of a circle. Okay, where R is function of theta. Anyway, we proceed on this. Please do not mind. These are seldom available. I'm using word seldom. It is. I won't say it is not available in the book, but this explanation coming to the parameter to the summation, and this is not available in any of them. Please do not mind supporting us. +9 was the India country code. 9483160610 is the telephone number. +91 is the India country code. 9483160610 is the telephone number.